Why another hero with almost no buffs like Venomancer rocks the highest win rate for offlane heroes? Well, to be fair, the one buff that Venomancer did get is amazing. 30% less HP regen not only gives players a way to handle these Sange building heroes like Huskar and DK, but it's a really good buff nonetheless, especially in lane. A set of tangos is worth 2 instead of 3 now, and this might seem small, but it isn't. Another big change, and this was introduced in 723B, is the fact that damage block doesn't work against the enemy player units, meaning your plague wards are much more effective than they were before in teamfights and in the mid-game. In terms of laning Venomancer, he's quite bad at level 1. You want to get your W for harass, meaning you have no kill potential, and you CS like shit because you don't have your wards. But fear not, this hero scales really well with levels, and also don't be afraid to ask your support to help or even take CS with a nuke in the first levels, since the last thing you want to do is fall behind early. Once you get level 2 though, a lot of supports start to become easy prey when you have a stun in your lane, so play aggressive with that point in queue. Urn was always a popular item on Venomancer core, and in this game, they are against the DK, so the item combined with your HP regen reduction is amazing, meaning Resolution just rushes an Urn here. They have very little kill potential on him, and thus boots is not needed this early. In games like this, where the enemy matchup is ass, you can snowball really hard from having an early Urn. Void overextends, and the charge from the Lion kill allows them to take Void down later. The reason you build Venomancer like this with no points of Plague Wars early is that against dual lanes, it's quite easy to kill your level 1 ward. What you want to do is get points in W so that leveling wards makes more sense, and also because you won't be laning as much from level 5+, so you're not giving money away while you keep good kill potential. The next item Reso goes for is Boots, and while he gets Vessel this game because he has amazing value, one of the other reasons Venomancer is so incredible in my opinion is that he's a hero that wants to build Boots of Travels. Well, so what, Bowie? Travels got no buffs in this patch. I read the patch notes. Well, the patch notes don't mention that Travels has the same channeling on an outpost than a TP scroll has in other buildings, meaning you can get there faster. Once you get map control, you can always contest an enemy trying to steal an outpost close to the room time, unless an enemy has people behind him. Because this item gives you that, the game becomes really hard for the enemy team because you're literally choking them out of experience and gold. Anyways, going back to the game. Venomancer is great at sieging tier 1 tower, especially after you have at least one pointing ward, because the wards will tank tower hits and creep hits, making sure that your catapult lives for longer and making it hard for the enemy to try and stop you from taking the tower since there are so many units around. In this game, the early Urn is especially effective versus a hero like Void because damage over time is the antithesis of what this hero is good against. The Urn also helps with you keeping the aggression up. Note how long Reso is fighting here, and he's always in fighting shape, even without resorting to a shrine. After the tower falls, Venomancer starts farming more and controlling the map. It's important to know that he's forming dire camps here. The reason taking towers is important is that it gives you farm and, more importantly, enemy farm. And now Reso is accelerating while Void has less camps to work with. With the new cliffs around the map, Venomancer can play even more aggressively and control the area easily. And that's another reason Veno is so good. By placing wards, you can get farm no other hero in your team would be able to get and risk almost nothing in return. As you can see, Reso wanted to rotate with his completed Vassal, but Dire finally moves 2 support stop for the kill. Even though he dies, he gets a kill on the enemy Rubik though. And while Venomancer can farm, look how fast Reso TPs after a 5 stars bottom, even though runes and outposts were acquired already. He did rush a Vassal, so not showing up for fights is unacceptable. Even without his ult, the ward spam and Gale are great fighting aids. Reso's team ends up disengaging after the fight though, so the tower is not really an option. And in terms of skill build, you can try and be greedy only learning ult at level 11, but since Reso did go Vessel early, it makes sense to get ult instead of a third point in his passive. He's clearly getting more damage out in a fight from learning that point than getting Poison Sting. Another reason I found for Venomancer to have so much win rate in this patch is the addition of the experience from the outpost. He died once in this game, and he is level 9 at 12 minutes from the offlane. That was almost never a thing in the old patch, but getting that 90 GPM faster definitely allows for better and stronger timings. Watch the difference in HP regen from this DK right here. He has 55 HP regen, and that becomes 5 after Vessel and Poison Sting. In a 15-second fight, this DK suddenly has 750 HP less than before because he's not getting it from the HP regen. See how Reso plays after they kill the DK here? He could double stack on the triangle, but instead he invades the enemy jungle. By farming here, not only Io can double stack their triangle anyways, but Reso is now taking farm away from the Dire. Again, because Venomancer is so good at getting farm, you should almost always farm enemy jungle camps because your allies cannot get them. Venomancer is so high on damage that getting control of outposts is really easy. He didn't manage his time the best here, but you can see the potential. He zones the Shaker and could still get the outpost. Also, after this outpost was controlled, he gave Reso an easy way to never give it back because of the travels. This is a great example of Veno being great versus DK. Remember that the only reason he's here is because of his travels, since he TP'd bottom to get the bounty, so that's already a plus for the item build, but more importantly, look at the DK. He had 17 HP regen, and it becomes 2 after Veno shows up. This fight lasts for 10 seconds when Vessel is used, and that would be 150 HP for the DK. It seems low, but just a little bit of extra HP regen could be enough for the DK to survive the Gale damage, and then Nova is not lethal when he leaves. While Reso jungles, as he shrines, note how he had eyes for the top lane already. This hero can farm jungle camps, but be very cautious on how much jungle and which camps you're farming. But his plans change. Once he sees several heroes bottom and he seeks a position for a mid push, he just follows. Veno is really good at safe pushes because you can get vision really easy, so make sure to always place warning routes that the enemy can take to surprise you, hidden TP spots inside tree areas, and note that Reso keeps pressuring after that tower even though Void Spirit is dead and he has no ult for a minute. Don't fall into the trap that this hero cannot fight without his ult. While you do less damage indeed, this hero, as we said, pushes really safely, meaning you can push until it actually gets dangerous, knowing that, and since you have travels, when you force the enemy to TP here, you're now one step ahead of them. In this case, Dire did not respond, so not only Reso damaged the tower, but his team is pressuring other heroes too. Eventually a fight starts, and watch how hard it is for Dire to take this. It's rough because they have no Chronosphere, but this is one of the hardest and difficult spots to fight on the map for Radiant, but thanks to the high ground vision that the wards always give and the early Vassal, they massacre Dire. One small thing to add when Reso is pushing waves is how he tries to apply the Poison Sting debuff on every creep, unless the creep is about to die, so he wants to hit that one. This is really small, but a good tip to push waves faster and get more farm overall. But as we discussed, this hero fights really well, especially when playing from ahead, so watch how Reso instantly TPs when a fight breaks bottom. And another great tip when fighting in tree areas is to use your wards as a blocking mechanism. See how he tries to predict where the enemy will be? This path was not narrow enough for the block, but later on he gets a side block that also makes it harder for the enemy to flee. This hero can be played multiple ways. You can play the Aura Bit style with Greaves, Pipe, Crimson, but in a game you're ahead, sometimes just Blink plus Eggs is enough. Void, for instance, struggles immensely against your damage over time, and thus being able to hit good Poison Novas will for sure create enough chaos for CK to wreak havoc. Let's watch a different game though. Here we have Sneyking playing Veno, and we have a similar game. Tier 1 down, so he can push the wave thanks to his high ground ward, and after that, let's steal all the Dire camps, since 3 heroes are dead. Almost no hero in the game can do this as fast and as remote than Venomancer, and this is the type of small thing that shows the difference between a good Venomancer and a bad one. Though it is not about how much net worth you have, but what's the difference between yours and the enemy, and Venomancer is great at making that difference big if you're good. A fight breaks out middle, and OD dies, meaning Dire usually would get control over the mid area and then fall back to the jungle after they're done. What happens instead? They have nothing there. Even after Puck takes his ward, he still has his own ward to lay there, while he keeps dominating everything. Another great thing about travels on Veno is that besides someone trying to contest your outpost, this is a new and great way to win fights. See how Sneyking can confidently ward that area himself while someone is dead and other heroes are showing? Now he owns this place and can push a wave that was way harder to push for any other hero in the game. Now he creates pressure bottom, meaning Invoker has to TP there, and what can Radiant do? Kill Sneyking middle with no reaction. This is the bread and butter of the hero, split and conquer. Alright guys, I know a lot of people don't like Venomancer, so here's a couple of Venomancers dying just, you feel good. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching, commenting, and subscribing. If you really enjoyed the channel and you want more content, better content, you can check our Patreon for videos that are exclusive there. But we do have a 100 goal for Patreons, meaning If we get there, I'm going to be able to hire an editor to create even more content on this channel for free and also for Patreon. So if you guys enjoy what I'm doing here, maybe check it out.